is that Iran started putting a hammer down on Kuwait, hitting critical infrastructure targets. Kuwait was one or two more salvos of Iranian missiles away from dying as a nation state, losing all ability to generate fresh water through desalination plants were being destroyed, or generate power because the power plants were being taken off the grid. And had Trump initiated this conflict, then all of the oil production capacity of Ukraine would have been annihilated, along with Bahrain and perhaps even Saudi Arabia. The big wake-up call came when the Houthis struck a Saudi refinery. Again, there's people that have been on your show that like to talk about Ukrainians striking Russian refineries, and they say the devastation of it. Well, every single one of those Russian refineries gets brought back into service a week and a half later. It's a temporary disruption. The Houthi just struck a Saudi refinery. It went boom. It didn't go pop. It went boom. Compare and contrast the flames coming out. That place is off the grid for years. And now the biggest Saudi oil refinery was also struck as a warning sign. Donald Trump was told by his advisors that if you initiate this action, irreversible harm will be done to the global energy security regime, and it would be permanent harm to the Middle East. It would trigger not just economic catastrophe, but again, I just want to remind people that the oil doesn't just produce diesel and gasoline. That's how we see it in America. We look at high energy prices. Oh God, this is tough. Oil produces everything. People who are watching the show, look at your desk. Look at everything's on your desk. Oil played a role in producing almost everything you have here. The crops that feed you, fertilizer comes from oil, sulfur, ammonia, byproduct of the oil refining process. When you shut down 25% of the world's ability to produce fertilizers, that means 25% of the world's agronomy isn't getting the fertilizers necessary to produce the crops necessary to feed the populations. We aren't just talking about an energy crisis where gas prices go up. We're talking about a global famine that's going to happen if Donald Trump did this. We're talking about Europe being overrun by hundreds of millions of desperate refugees. We're talking about Africa unable to sustain populations surging across into the Maghreb, into North Africa, fleeing into Europe, coming through Turkey into Europe because they are desperate. Again, a challenge I give to anybody in your audience: stop eating today. Just try it. Tell me how hungry you are tonight. You're going to be pretty hungry, but you'll be okay. Tomorrow, don't eat because there's no food. You're going to start to get grumpy because your body's going to start saying, hey, I'm hungry. I'm starting to consume myself. The third day, you're not going to be grumpy. You're going to be weak. You're going to be standing up, being a little lightheaded. On the fourth day, you realize that if you don't eat, you're going to die, which means you're going to do anything necessary to get food. On the first day, you're a civilized person. On the fourth day, you're an animal running around murdering people to get their food, breaking into homes to get their food, because if you don't, you die. That's what's about to happen to a significant portion of the global population if they're denied access to food. They will starve to death, and when they starve to death, they're going to start to move to where the food is, and where the food is in Europe. And so I think, Trump has been briefed